We're going to have a look at Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. It's been a while since I've done any of the campfire songs on the playlist, so just to remind you, I'll put my transcription, my song sheet up with a link for you to have a look at, and I also strongly recommend you have a listen to the song, the original, before attempting to play it, as with any new song that you're learning. This is in the original key, so what we play should fit with the original song. Now, just a quick word before we start off with, this song features quite a distinctive lead guitar riff in it. I'll talk about that more at the end, but when you listen to it, it's something to the effect of the original's played on electric guitar. It's slightly different positionally as far as I can hear, but as I say, I'll talk about that more in the end. We're not going to worry about that for now because the nature of these songs is just keep it simple so you can have a strum along. Now, that said, the song itself is super simple. It's all basic chords. We've got a G, a D, a C and an E minor, and that's more or less everything. I did throw in on my arrangement a sneaky D with the F sharp bass that I've used a couple of times before. That one, but I'll talk about that when we come to it. It's optional, is that one, so you don't need to bother about it if that's beyond your capabilities at this moment. So the pattern that plays underneath that instrumental is a repeating pattern that you hear throughout most of the song, the verses and the rest of it. So the basic pattern that we need to learn first and foremost is a G, D, C, back to D. So those are the chords that are played underneath the lead guitar bit, and that's also most of the verse section. So if we can play those chords repeatedly, then we've got most of the work done already. As I say, it's a really simple song to learn structure wise, assuming you know those chords. So for the introduction of the song, it's playing that lead guitar bit. If you wanted to, you can just play that pattern a couple of times. That's how I put it on my song sheet. And then we come into the first verse of the song. The first line of the verse, this is the same structure for all the verses. The first line is that same pattern that I've just played. So it's late in the evening, she's wondering which clothes to wear. It's been such a long time since I've done a campfire song, you'll have forgotten how bad my voice actually is, but there you go. Same for the second line of the verse. She puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde hair. So that's half of the verse, just that same pattern that we've played for the introduction. That's the most important pattern of the song. Now, on the third line of the verse, change it up slightly, but using chords that we're already familiar with. So we go to play a C, followed by a D, followed by a G, and then an E minor. So it's... And then she'd ask me, do I look alright? And carrying on back to a C, I say, C, you look wonderful tonight. Back to that repeating G, D, C, D pattern. So that's all we need for the intro of the verse. That works for the second verse as well. So when you've got that, you've got the song. Now, I mentioned that I've added an extra chord in on the verse. So on the third line of the verse where it's saying, and then she'd ask me, the bit where we go the C and the D, between the G and the E minor, that's where I've added that extra D with an F sharp bass chord. So rather than just playing the G to the E minor, the way that you'll see it on my song sheet with the chord that I've added is G, D minor with the F sharp to E minor. The reason I've done that is when I was listening to it to figure it out, I think it might have been the bass guitar that was doing it, but it adds to the song sort of a downward progression. So I'm going from a G to an F sharp to the E with my root notes. So doing that with the chords, which you've got G, the F sharp, E minor, that. Just because I think it sounds cool. Feel free to just play it the simple version, just with the G, straight to the E minor, if that D F sharp bass is not working out for you. It's your choice. As Marco Pierre White says in his videos, you can play the chord or not play the chord. It's your choice. That's most of the song, really, to be honest with you. There's a bridge after the second verse. It's more or less the same, but just to familiarise yourself with the structure of it. When we've finished with the second verse, so I'm going to play the last couple of chords of the second verse. So when we play it through from the end of the second verse, we've got a little G chord that we hang on a little bit longer than if we were just playing the instrumental progression. And I'll play it through. I've added my chord in as well, but again, you can leave that out if you wish to. To me, it just works for me. So the end of the second verse is going to be the last line of the verse. If you look at it on the music, it's a C, so it's yes, you were wonderful tonight. Stay on that G a little bit. I feel wonderful because I see the love light in your eyes, and I wonder of it all is that you just don't realize how much I love you. It goes into the instrumental again. So you've got everything there to play it, either the simple version, just the G to E minor, or you can add in the extra chord if you want to. Hopefully that's helpful. Don't normally mention or prescribe strumming patterns for the songs on this playlist. Just have a go at whatever's comfortable for you. But if you fancy it, what sounds really cool on this particular piece is playing an arpeggio technique on the chords. So that means rather than playing the chords, strumming the chords, all the notes at once, it means picking out the notes individually on the chord. So something you might want to have a go at is a really simple pattern. I'm going to pick, starting on my lower string, and just go down 3 strings, and then follow that up by starting on my highest string, my high E, and then picking up 3 strings. So if I put the chord on for the G, do the same for the other chords. C, back to the D, have a go at that if you want to have a go at it. If not, just strum the chords. I was using my fingers, a little bit out of practice using my fingers recently, but you can use a plectrum to get the same effect. So with a plectrum, I'm just going to play the same thing I play, but using a plectrum instead of using my fingers. Or something like that, whatever works for you, or just keep it basic with the chords. Finally, the lead guitar bit. I don't normally put the lead guitar bits on these campfire videos because it's more about strumming and keeping it basic. And the other thing as well with this particular piece is it's played up in the 12th position, so I can just about get up to that position on my guitar, on this acoustic guitar. On some acoustic guitars I've played, it's a little bit more difficult depending on the area of the neck joint and how much access you've got with your hand. So I'm just about able to do it. So I can just about reach up to the position where I need to do that. So I'm going to leave the details of that out for now. If anybody is having a go at this, if you want me to go through that with you in detail, I'll do another follow-up video with a hand close-up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Just let me know in the comments or DM. Also, if you can't reach up to there is a way you can sort of bluff it playing down in the, you know, the root position. Something like that. So if you want to have a go at either of those two, let me know and I'll do a follow up to this. But have a good go at this song. It's a lovely song. Either strum it, pick it, whatever you want to do with it. Structure's really easy, so you'll learn it in no time whatsoever. Most importantly, enjoy.